everyone. How are you doing, everybody? I'm not. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah. Sorry. There you go. Or just make it quieter. It's just a thought. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know how you make it quieter. I go around to everybody's house and put pillows on their head. Okay. Now, Craig says, can't hear you, Pete. Now, I don't know if that's... Oh, no, can't hear Pete. They can't hear Pete. Morning. Okay. It's all a bit squiffy and out of sync. All on me again. Oh, it's all on me again, apparently. Every week I have to carry this. Okay, how is everybody out there in the internet world? I'm just going off camera. Yeah, how is everybody? I've had the craziest week, which again, each week seems to get shorter and shorter. I don't know where the time is going. So yeah, hobby stuff this week. I haven't done very much. I finished painting Cad Bane. That was a highlight of the week, and I've been painting some more Dilac for our new Necromunda campaign. But we've got I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, we've got the new nameplates. So we're looking forward to putting those on. So I've painted up some new Dilac to go with them. Can I stop talking now? Anybody here, Pete? Anybody here, Pete? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, Cad. No Beef says Cad is a fantastic model. You're absolutely right. I think it's a brilliant model. I mean, he's a great character. Full stop.
Anyone? Oh, can people hear me now?
No.
Well, they might in a moment because it'll take like 30 seconds to get through.
Okay. Still got a nope. Yes, we got a yes.
I have no idea why that stopped working.
You lot could have all conspired and just kept saying no. That would have been hilarious.
I have no idea why that was doing that, and I apologise to everybody. I don't know why that had suddenly stopped working, but it had.
You've let yourself down.
Let my parents down. I don't really care about letting my parents down, so there we go. There we are. So hello, sorry, back in the room. Well, back on the air. Noise. Hello everybody. Who have we got in the chat tonight? We've got
all sorts of people in the chat.
Rosa,
Paint Battle Roll is in there. He wants the swag.
Paint Battle Roll, No Beef Just Party. Craig Sargent, Rosa, Red Rose Wargaming, hello, the Fat Nerd, Wolfman Gaz, Zach Matthews, Mahi, Milky Paints, just trying to see if there's anybody else. I might have missed people. Voodoo Bob, we haven't seen you before, Voodoo Bob. We haven't commented, so hello and welcome aboard. Hope you're enjoying your stay here.
Red Rose in, hello Red Rose, and Zach, I think you've already said Zach actually.
Yeah, I think Enrique Villa. I'm afraid I can't read whatever it was you just wrote. But I'm guessing I'm guessing the bit no se oye a Pete is you can't hear Pete. So there you go. Hopefully you can now. How is everybody's day? Yours has been mental, you said, Robin?
It's just a crazy week.
But at least it's quiet. At least it's cooler.
Just time. It's just going faster and faster and faster. Well, it's obviously not, but I just don't know. I don't know where it's going. I mean, my wife's been off this week, so we've been going out for days out. So that's made a difference. But yeah, it's been just mad. I can't believe it's another whole week has passed. In fact, it seems like only yesterday we were talking about what the new cards were.
It does feel a bit like that, and it becomes even more. It's just like trying to keep up with GW, because GW's release structure is absolutely just crazy. Yeah,
and do you think it's even more crazy at the moment because of I've just closed the chat window. Do you think it's even more crazy at the moment because of coronavirus squashing it down?
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Hello Morph, hello Matt. Lagging ends.
I would love to know why we had to moderate Matt's comment.
Yeah, that was with Bambinos. Obviously something he doesn't really like.
In case it was children.
Morph is back from the morning run. Bucker that for a game of soldiers. All I can
well
say.
Done, VJ. Yeah, VJ was saying he was going to run at 6 in the morning his time.
His name's not VJ. He's the artist formerly known
Morph.
as
Sorry, yes, Morph. He's the artist known as Morph. But it's just so British to call him VJ.
It is. It does seem more British to say VJ.
If he wanted to be called Morph, he should have called himself Morph VJ. That's all I'm going to say.
You got it wrong, and it's your own fault.
I'm just not down with the kids.
So we're on here tonight to talk about two things. Well, sort of three things maybe. One is loot boxes, and the general how we feel about them, and how people out there in internet lands feel about that, and what they think about it. And at the end of the show,
to give them to me.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Well, I'm quite happy for that, really. Yeah. And then we're also going to be giving you some information at the end of this show about what we're giving away. We've got two different giveaways to do, and what those will be and how to enter them. So, exciting stuff.
Thoroughly acceptable loot boxes, ones we just give away.
Yeah. And we've also got another giveaway that's going to be coming in a week or so of the new warbands as well. But this is not those. These are different giveaways. So we'll talk about those near the end of the show.
Yes.
So, loot boxes. Robin, have you given tonight's show your customary 5 minutes thought?
Nope, I haven't even bothered to do that this week.
You know how we were talking before we came on live about how we could increase the numbers?
Yeah. No, I have thought about them. I have thought about them quite a lot, actually. And I'm inclined to agree with Voodoo Bob that he's not very happy about them.
I struggle, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that I just feel that for this one in particular, I haven't really seen what the Imperium one was, but this one in particular, in the UK version of it, just felt a little bit like this is the stuff we haven't been able to sell, so we're selling it off cheap, which is kind of okay. I think somebody somewhere has made some bad decisions, but I feel like maybe they should just up front say it's going to be £65 and then you get all this swag, and this is what the swag is, because really it created a mystery, and then I assume there was some bitterness that people got things they already had or things that they didn't really want.
Red Rose says the audio is about 2 seconds ahead, so I'm just going to change scene a second and see if that makes any difference. So that's just us chatting. I'm just going to go back to us chatting again. How about that? Speak, Robin, speak.
I'm speaking.
I've no idea if that's worked. Let me know at home if it has or not. But anyway, sorry, we'll crash on. You might need to just listen more than watch today, maybe. There's not going to be a lot to actually see during this show, I think. So, I'm not sure if the audio is laggy. I've no idea why that is. These things are...
Apparently only I'm lagging.
It's all a rule unto itself, and I've never understand why this does it.
Seems better now. The Fat Nerd's playing World of Warcraft while listening. He doesn't even need to look at me. Only I'm lagging now. Well, that's pretty much in keeping with my week.
That's about
yeah, we've got a good comment here, which is fairly sure it's a great way for GW to shift a ton of stock at once. And then somebody else has commented it's a way of having a sale without actually having a sale, which is probably about right, because GW don't really do sales, do they?
That is true.
But I just, Matt says he was disappointed that every box was identical. I suppose then you get into, I don't know how it works, do you get into lottery issues then? It's effectively, you might get something better than, I don't know. You've got to be careful about that, haven't you? If you're selling stuff, and some things might be better than others. I mean, I'm not suggesting there'll be one that had like a gold warband in it, but I don't know what the rules are. If you're buying a variety of content, I suspect it's probably fine, because sealed bags are fine. But
yeah, I have mixed feelings about it in total. I think in some ways it's great for people who are brand new to the game, and they just bought the starter box and they're like, I want some stuff. It could be really handy in that situation. And if you look at what some of the loot boxes that they gave away in some countries, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was the EU version of the Imperial loot box. You got like a Baneblade and a command squad and other stuff in there. It was all Imperial Guard, which is fantastic. And I think the one in Australia, I think they got a knight, which is pretty good. Okay. I mean, it's still 50% of the price, so you're still going to get a certain amount of saving out of it. But it was useful stuff that you'd get in those situations. But then the Underworlds one, I think it was in Europe, or it might have been Oz. They got about 5 warbands in there, and I think
that was Australian again.
Yeah, and they didn't get the carry case. They got a couple of extra warbands, so they got about 5 instead of 3.
Why do we think the disparity? Well, I know because the Australian one was more expensive as well, wasn't it?
I think that's just because GW like bending over Australia and taking advantage of them, even though it's got nothing to do with just the exchange rates. I think it's got to do with tax and stuff like that as well.
Right. No, but why is the Australian one so much better than the European one, do we think? Is that because do they have a load of stuff in Australia that they store there that they needed to get rid of?
Good point. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was. I mean, there's no denying that a lot of the reason behind the loot box was just we've got a ton of crap that we need to get rid of. How do we get rid of it?
Yeah, loot box. So it's really the equivalent of tidying up at home, isn't it? We've got all this crap all over the floor we need to get rid of. What do? Just put it in a big box.
Yeah, a bit like that. I think. And so in some ways, some of the stuff they gave away and loot boxes in general, I still have mixed feelings on them. I think the UK one was average at best. But if you're brand new to the game, you've just got the base box. I mean, you've got 3 warbands in there. You've got the terrain. You've got the tokens. You've got the mat that, I mean, no one gives a shit about the mat. But you get the card box for your deck if you don't have any deck boxes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I've had a slight issue with them before. I think in that what was it called? The gift pack was a bit like a big FU to everybody who'd followed the game since the inception, because it basically you needed to buy it because there were like half a dozen, if that, cards that were new, and you already had everything else. You didn't really need the tokens or the board, but the other cards that were in there. So you basically had to fork out on that. Even if you'd followed from the beginning. And this is kind of similar, because the people who are really going to be interested in a Underworlds loot box are people who have played it a lot, because they might get something exciting, but of course there's nothing exciting to be had. So I feel like GW should have made that clearer and perhaps called it a brilliant place for beginners or something like that, to stop people who have already sunk money into the hobby sinking more into it and then coming away feeling a little bit disenfranchised. It's not the best way to engender people to buy more things, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, at the bottom line on loot boxes, it is purely a bit of a cash grab, isn't it? It's purely just how can we get rid of the stuff that we've got loads of that we don't want and still make some money on it. There's always an element of cynicism in there whenever there's something like this that happens. It's not like the digital versions where it's just a random pick of stuff that you get and they can just randomly make it happen, as you download it and that kind of thing.
That's a whole different kettle of fish, isn't it? I think I object to those even more. I think that is proper gambling, and it costs absolutely nothing to make them.
I agree. I think that is a definite difference here. And the other problem I think that this version had, it wasn't cheap as far as loot boxes went. It's like it was 70 quid or something like that. That's not cheap. Yeah. Sure, you get 140 quid's worth of stuff or whatever, but it's a pretty expensive starter, or just a pretty expensive unknown purchase for what you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, a few people sort of agreeing that it wasn't marketed right, and I think we're pretty much broadly in agreement with that. I always have this slight problem. I know people love their kind of add-on bits like their cases and particularly dice. But I always have a bit of an issue with it. This kind of, I suppose, because I'm slightly anti-consumerist, and although obviously hobby is a consumer thing, quite a lot of these things are just making them for the sake of it. They're literally like making multiple packs of dice is literally just making stuff so people will buy it. It's not doesn't particularly have any benefit beyond purchasing it, which I kind of object to. So then having to put all these things in a box and sell them on again, just to me seems like selling things for the sake of selling stuff, full stop, which I don't really like.
Yeah, it is a bit like that, I think.
Having said all that, of course, we were going to give away dice keychains for our patrons, so I possibly...
That's a giveaway, Robin. That's a giveaway. Look, who doesn't want one of these?
Is that a giveaway? I didn't know that was a giveaway.
Well, no, it's not a giveaway, but it's going to be... No. It's going to be for our one of our patrons.
And they are cool. They are our reason for GW to make millions of dice and to send them to us, so that we can make those.
Moogie says there may be a room that he likes dice a bit too much. I mean, I do like the dice, and the only reason I don't use our coloured dice anymore... Oh, look, there's green one there. Ooh, greeny. The only reason I don't use them is because they look rubbish on our green screen.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong. I do like dice. I like dice as much as the next man. But I just feel that they're the kind of thing that actually we don't really need to do. And everybody's forgotten about plastics during coronavirus. But we were having a big kind of try and use less plastic drive, and I kind of think like dice and things like that probably don't need to be end up in landfill.
Yeah, there is that. There is a bit of that, I guess. But then this hobby is horrible for the planet, really. And GW don't offer any kind of recycling at all. It
is, but that I don't mind, because the hobby, not every hobby, but a lot of hobbies have a byproduct, and the hobby is what it is, and it uses plastic, and people derive enormous enjoyment out of that. But I'm kind of derailed this now, going on about dice. But the dice, not so. I mean, Milky, they obviously bring you pleasure, but I feel that it doesn't add anything. Like, so buying a new kit and building it and playing it on the battlefield, that brings something. Whereas dice, you're just rolling different coloured dice. It doesn't actually give you anything extra.
Sorry, you did.
That's my.
Can people let me know? I've been filling with the audio whilst we've been talking. I think I might have Robin back on sync now. So say something, Robin.
Sorry, you wanted me to say something. Rosa says he has dice and sleeve for every single warband. Call me obsessed, because I am. Well, yeah, and that's kind of fair enough, but I kind of feel like that Games Workshop know, and this is obviously they know this, they do know this, but they apparently I'm still out of sync, but they know that a lot of us are completists, and and that so bringing out extra stuff that matches is a good way to make extra money, because people have to buy them. But and I have to say the warband specific sleeves are a bit of a nightmare, because you change your universal cards around all the time.
I mean, I don't think everybody does it as much as us. Well, maybe they do. I mean, we've stopped using them completely now, but I think some people are definitely, especially people who are die-hard fans of a single particular warband, they will have the same. They're only going to be swapping out a small number of cards each time. So, but yeah, having that was a real pain in the backside.
Oh yeah, on a related subject, I've been looking at some Marvel Champions stuff, and they've just announced printed sleeves for those, so you can get the different heroes sleeves for them. But again, a lot of the cards are mixed, and that's a cooperative or even single player game, and every time you can play with different aspects, which means you've got to change all the cards. So, or not all of them, but a lot of them. So it seems crazy to why you would want specifically labelled card sleeves. But I have thoroughly derailed the conversation.
Somebody was asking about whether there's a giveaway. Yes, there will be a giveaway. We will tell you at the end of this show how you can enter the giveaways and what we're giving away. We will be doing the draw next week. So anybody who's joining us just now live or is looking at this any time in the week from the 18th of August for the next sort of 6 days, you haven't missed out yet, and you can still enter. End of the show, we'll tell you how.
Yeah, Red Rose says that he genuinely thinks that the gift pack was what stopped them from buying Beastgrave stuff. So that's an interesting observation. I think the gift pack, especially coming at Christmas, did annoy a lot of people. I think.
That gift pack was a bit shoddy. That gift pack was crap, really. I mean, it was a cheap grab. I mean, I can't complain too much, because they'll just print a different coloured set of dice, and some people want them, some people don't. I just wanted the cards. The cardboard thing itself was a bit cheap as far as I was concerned. It wasn't even flat, really. I liked the tokens. I will say that, but at the same time, I never really used the tokens, so what was the point?
Craig was gutted because he saw the unboxings before he's arrived, so he knew it was going to be disappointing before he.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The one plus side there is if you looked, you saw what was in there, and you knew you didn't want any of it, then when the guy comes to deliver, you could just refuse delivery and get it sent straight back.
I didn't order this.
I'm not ordering that crap. You think I need 3 warbands? I just deliver parcels, sir. I don't need 3 warbands. I don't need a mat. I don't need any of this rubbish. I just deliver parcels, sir.
I think you should call out Matt like that in in the channel. I think that's rude.
Matt says she's a simple lady, slaps something in purple and she goes nuts for it. My wife's a bit like that. She likes purple, but not dice.
My wife likes purple too.
Thing.
I have no idea whether she likes purple dice.
Sweepingly stated, massively sexistly. Any other women watching right now? Do you like purple? I don't know. I like purple though, actually, to be fair. It's one of my favourite colours. I'm just crap at painting it, so I never do. He uses the card. Milky says he uses the card from the gift pack as a mouse mat. There you go. That's a good way of reutilising stuff.
Yep. Mine wouldn't sit flat though, so it would just be really annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess it would after a while with some weight on it.
And now we're getting into colours of dice. I've got somebody else like blue dice.
You've got this kind of thing going. So loot boxes for some people, who especially people, I think it was definitely mismanaged, mismarketed. A lot of people, like you said, and I think other people in the chat said that it should have been directed at like people who are just brand new into the hobby, much more like a cheap way of if you haven't got anything for Beastgrave, this is a great way of starting your Beastgrave collection.
Yeah.
And even then, because they were making it like a reinforcements kind of thing, so it's like you've got stuff, here's some other stuff as well, and that was totally the wrong way to go about it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I don't know what the demographic of people who play Underworlds, whether I reckon most people who play are completists. So most people who play have already got everything, certainly all the warbands. So I think it was a bad way to market it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think I won't say your normal or your average gamer, Beastgrave gamer is going to have everything, because there's a lot of people who don't. But I think a large quantity of gamers and Beastgrave players or Underworlds players, a large quantity, and I know there are people watching in the chat right now that don't, but quite a sizable quantity of people will have almost everything. So
yeah, I think so. Right, excuse me, it's very warm in here. I'm going to try and take my jumper off. It could go horribly wrong.
So everybody,
I'll try not to flash the all 31 of you. All that's 30, 29,
27,
28.
30. Right, we've got the super stickers and super chat. Anybody who wants to, ping us a bit of money now, Robin can keep taking off layers. The more super chats we get. We've never used it. I don't even know if the super chat thing works. It's like there, but I don't think I've ever seen it happen. But then I have never connected it up to our stream thing, so I don't even know how to do that. I'd look into it, but I don't think it'd ever get used. So I don't see the point in them really. It's like, somebody's paid £1 to say you guys suck or something. I don't know.
Underworlds is much more feasible to have a complete collection, so therefore loot boxes are less good. Yeah, because even if you end up buying any other system like AOS or 40k, even if you end up getting a load of stuff for an army you've already got, it just makes your army bigger. So it helps.
Make a lot of ask how much for you to take off a sock. She's obviously that way inclined.
No.
He can't reach him.
I might put my back out doing that, so that's quite
expensive. He needs his carer to come over and help him with that. Young Jin sort of pointed out as well that because Underworlds is a much more feasible system to have a complete setting, so unlike with the Imperial one where it's like, here's some Imperial stuff, you're like, you might have a Marine army, but that doesn't mean you have all the Marines, or you might have sisters that might not mean you've got.
And even if you have, it's just another regiment, isn't it? So if you're going to get another regiment or whatever they call them, unit, then it's a cheaper addition to what you've already got, or it might be a whole new exciting journey for you. I mean, I think I can see there's mileage in saying we're going to sell off cheap armies, but it's a surprise out of old Space Marines. I don't know. I just feel that Underworld's loot box was perhaps a bit of a misfire.
Yeah, and it's a tricky one to work out what I would have liked them to have done with it, and I don't think I have an answer to that. So I think overall I would have just rather they didn't do it. And I know GW don't do sales for whatever weird reason. They don't ever do sales, but I think I would have just rather they said these certain particular Beastgrave products are going to go on half price. Go nuts.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. I think that would have been better because yeah, it is an odd thing that not doing sales. I suppose it's because they don't want people waiting till January or whenever they're going to do a sale and buying whatever it is when they can sell it straight. Because I mean, every sale is straight profit, isn't it? Really, or straight profit. You know what I mean? They're their own supplier, but I just yeah, I feel like they could have done. And I want to be interested to see whether they make so many add-on products next season. Whether they do the same number but they're in smaller quantities, or whether they're just going to call it a loss and say, well, we won't bother making a case next season because nobody bought it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know what their sales figures was for that kind of thing. But I guess the case overall, I think the case is quite similar to the Kill Team version. It's just slightly different branding on it and stuff. So I don't know how easy it is for them to change it over.
What's meant to go in?
Models, yeah.
What's meant to go in it?
It has like not the hexagonal, but the diagonal strips of foam.
No, does it? Okay.
And stick your models in stuff, and it does fit.
Because it seems a bit flimsy.
It does fit some of the boards in as well. It's not too bad.
Right. Says the man who uses the biscuit tin.
Says the man who, up until we started using magnets, used to use tissue paper.
Fourth says, anyone mind if you plugged a little painting charity competition you did a video for? I don't know, everybody. Do you mind? I don't think we do.
It's pretty solid.
Okay, yeah, well, it's bigger than I thought, actually.
In there.
Yeah. I think I've only seen it in 2 dimensions.
You can. Well, you're still only technically still seeing it in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
You can fit a couple of boards in there as well. I don't think you could fit your decks and your dice in there. If you've just got a warband, maybe you could fit your decks and your dice in there as well. So
it holds warbands, 2 decks, tokens, and dice, and 4 boards.
Warbands. What is warbands? How many warbands? Couple.
2.
4 boards. That's a bit more impressive. Is that?
Or a warband, maybe. Maybe it's a warband. Carry case, 2 teams, dice, tokens, and 3 boards. There you go.
3 boards. 4 boards. How many boards?
Depends how big the bands are. I know that makes sense. You probably can't get gits and ghosts in there all at once.
You probably could, but you wouldn't get so much in the way of decks and stuff in there.
Apparently, it's a good case. So there you go. So there you are. Maybe it is worth it. I don't very rarely buy that product. I'm a kitchen towel and shoebox kind of guy.
I think it's not bad if you've not got one and you want something and you want to be a bit more, brand savvy when you go to your next Grand Clash. You can be like, Beastgrave, love it, but
so last year
and it's just I don't know what the sales were like on that. So I mean, that's not a bad buy. If you're getting that half price, that's not too bad. I mean, if I didn't have all this stuff and I was like, I need to get a case and I quite fancy these bits and pieces and I don't want to buy them because they're not warbands, they're not cards, they're not intrinsic to the play, but you got 60 quid to burn and you knew that's what you were getting, I think a lot more people would have bought it and been happy with it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by your statement. I've got 60 quid to burn.
This is a hobby where people routinely post pictures online of like £1,000 worth of plastic and boxes.
That's true. If you ever do want to burn £60, just let me do it for you.
Now Matt says he doesn't regret having one. So I'm assuming you mean the carry case box, Matt, not the giveaway box. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm assuming that. But he says he comfortably fit 2 boards, dice box, tokens, mats.
So I've got a biscuit tin, which I don't regret eating the biscuits, and I go the models for Pete to do the magnets, so I don't regret that either. No, I reckon everybody should just send their warbands to Pete to put magnets in.
Did we get a link, by the way?
And with a full biscuit tin.
Did we get a link, by the way, on the painting competition thing?
Morph. Yeah. Get it right. So it's Dragonfall virtual armies on display, but I don't think there's a link.
Youngjin says he's in other news he's extremely happy with the Oryx coming to Smashy FaceTime. I'm looking forward to seeing how the new warbands fight. I am exceptionally excited by them. I remember when the things first popped up about the loot box that GW were doing. Some people were like, I wonder if we'll get warbands in there that aren't released yet. No, you're not getting new fucking warbands in there. Are you kidding me?
Not for
No,
£65.
what planet are you on?
That would be cool.
I mean, can you imagine how much people would lose their shit if they got that and opened it up and it had the new Oryx in it? They'd be like, oh my god!
Or just a totally different warband. Morgok 2.0.
Just, we didn't tell you about these.
With 2 Morloks. Morgok and Morgok.
Morgok and Gollum. I didn't realise Morgok backward was Gollum. Oh my god. This is whole brand new, blow my head off kind of sudden new world stuff. So I think this has been a pretty simple one for the most part. I think everybody in the chat is kind of in agreement here that overall the loot boxes, not great, not a lot of people are a fan of them. It's got some good stuff in there and it's cheap, but they didn't really pitch it right. It's kind of how I'm feeling.
No, and I would hate to see them moving towards it. I mean, I assume I can see it's a good way for them to shift units that they're not shifting for whatever reason. I don't know whether that's the same with the Imperial one, whether they are, they had a load of stuff left lying around they wanted to get rid of. But I just feel like it's, I wouldn't want to see them. It's all right as an occasional thing, but I wouldn't want to see them moving to it for their business model, because I think it's slightly, not shady, that's the wrong word, but it's just...
It's a bit shameless. It's a bit of a shamelessy sort of cash grab, isn't it?
Yeah, if I would want to encourage them to make products that people want to buy when they make them, not sort of slightly shifty way, if that makes sense.
I think, as Aaron said and we said earlier as well, the Aussie loot boxes did seem to be way better.
Yeah,
for whatever
it did.
reason that might be, they just seem to be a lot better. Does that mean that Beastgrave just didn't sell as much in Oz, and so they had more stuff to get rid of? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know whether they have stuff stockpiled there that they then sell on. But I just I would hate it to be a way of them not improving the process, rather than just think, well, it doesn't actually matter because we could just ship it all in this big box that gullible people will buy at the end of the season.
Rosa says that he thinks there should have been more loot box exclusives. Do you mean like stuff in the loot box that you couldn't get anywhere else? I think if they did that, that would make more people salty, because there was such a limited run. I mean, the absolute gnashing and wailing of Indomitus when that happened was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think so. They'd either have to make sure that there were enough loot boxes to go around for everyone, or do no. I mean, maybe they could have done, for a lot of shits and giggles. They could have printed Fast Rider and Magor's cards
and turn tokens and stuff.
Stuck them in there.
I'd love to know when it came to the Fast Rider and the Magor cards, and for that matter, a lot of the Beastgrave ones, because they haven't done any of the Grand Clashes to give or the quarter games or giving them away.
Yeah.
Did they never do them?
Stuck those in there with Shergar and Lord Lucan. Would have been sorted.
Did they just never print those, or did they just do a load of Magor and Fast Rider stuff and then never do anything with it? Is there a warehouse full somewhere, like in Indiana Jones, of just crates of Magor and Fast Rider alternate art cards or something?
Maybe there was a misprinting or something, and they've got naked Fast Riders on them. They could never let them out.
They've really actually revealed that Magor's actually a Slaanesh worshipper. Aaron B says everything makes GW players salty. That is true. They can release a whole new game,
it's very
and
true.
A large majority of the fan base will just bitch and moan about it because people like that.
Buried like the Atari ET game.
So what you're telling me, Milky, is in about 30 years we're going to finally dig them up and find them all?
Maybe so.
So yeah, I'd love to know what happened with all those. I mean, did they just not print them? Did they just go? Because to me, the thought process that somebody in Games Workshop said, we'll do alternate art cards for the first 6 warbands. What about the last 2? Nah, fuck them. I just can't believe someone made that decision.
Do you think it was because they didn't do any promos at the beginning because there weren't going to be any tournaments, because there was only the 2 warbands? So by the time they got the warband thing up and running, it was 3 months down the line, and then so by the time they got to the end, it was Nightbolt, so they didn't want to print Shadespire ones.
Know.
And they had, but they didn't think about it before they started.
I'm not sure, because I can't remember when the alternate art cards for quarter 2 and quarter 3 came around.
I think you should have just said yes, and So that's a really intelligent observation, Robin. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to put that out there now.
Sort of, yes, but at the same time, they're so behind in their production thing. Surely they'd only be doing like season 1 alternate art now. I don't know.
Rob here doesn't.
Matt hates Morgok.
Yeah, Matt hates Morgok. He doesn't want your daughter to have broken something you gave her. He just hates Morgok.
He just doesn't like Morgok. It's got nothing against you personally or your daughter in any way, but it's all on Morgok. If Matt saw a picture of a little kitten being held by a little child holding a model of Morgok, Matt would immediately spit on it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a running joke that he hates Morgok. He does hate Morgok. If you want to keep Matt out of your house, just put a Morgok on every window frame, and he won't be able to come in. It's written in Romanian folklore.
We just sort of go up to the glass and then stomp away, swearing under his breath, "Fucking Morgok, stupid fucking Morgok." I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of Morgok, and I'm not a huge fan of Hrothgorn either. I find both of them can make the games very one-sided sort of thing.
Somebody with a brilliant suggestion here that we have that they should have just done one box for a supply drop full of squats.
People would have lost their shit.
That would have been pretty cool.
Lost it. I mean, everyone lost it when the Necromunda squat got released. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's a squat! They're going to be doing 40k next. There's going to be an army next year. Once they've done Sisters, squats is after that." Calm down. Calm your fucking tits.
Never say never. Never say never. They destroy the old world and bringing it back.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Never say.
I did see a comment on a post the other day. Someone had shared a link about how GW had made like 10 years on the trot of massive profits or something like that. And I couldn't help but put a comment there going, well, there you go. This is just proof that GW don't know what they're doing. All those armchair.
Yeah, for all the salt about them, they keep selling us stuff.
Keep buying it. The number of people you see in threads are like, they're screwing it all up. They're getting it all wrong. They're just making all these bad decisions. Like, have you seen their financial reports? Because
they're just so good at it. I'm not sure why. Considering we've talked about the marketing of the loot box being a bit dodgy, but I mean,
saying that it's still sold
the new
out.
Necromunda stuff, which we barely play. The new Necromunda stuff just looks amazing, and there's something about the way they market it. Just I really want to buy those new cards. I'm never going to use them. I may never use them, but I really want them. And the new Escher figures, and just like, they just keep finding ways to part with their money.
I think they've got that sweet spot combination of the models are fantastic. No, I don't think anybody could seriously say the models are shit or aren't some of the best on the market, because they are fantastic. And they've got their marketing down. They've got the marketing hype. It's just ace. And they've got the team to create all of the imagery. And I mean, even the stuff like they're doing now, where they're doing the little short intro videos with the music on top, and the Necromunda one has that kind of punk rocky kind of music behind it. It's just fantastic. It's just amazing, and it's just how the industry has evolved, and GW are just hammering right now. When it comes to right rules, they're shit. Absolutely crap, but the models and their hype on that side of things is fantastic.
Yeah. The Origin 96 with the Death Maidens and Necromunda are terrifying. I might have to get some.
They're ridiculously costly as well. They're like 300 points for 2 of them. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. There was I think an article today on Warhammer Community where they're going, here's a new warband you could build, and it had like a leader, 2 Death Maidens, 2 of those hunter models, one with a bow and one with a whip with a couple of the cats, and that was like about it. It was kind of like, that's your lot, you've got nothing left.
Marketing hype equals shows a picture of all the shit, and we all shit ourselves with excitement. That's pretty true.
Gaming.
They can wound on 2s, rerolling 1s with unparryable attacks though.
What? Ow. That's broken. See?
That's messed up. What I liked about our games, I have to say, what I liked about our games, we haven't played very many games in Necromunda. What I liked about those games is that actually it was quite hard to hit And you did feel that
your leader was normally
when your leader was shooting it meant something because it was a little bit easier for them to hit, and I kind of like that about the game. I know it sometimes can make for longer games,
but you have a smaller model count, so it kind of levels out.
Yeah, so I haven't really found that the games were over long. I feel like power creep in a game like Necromunda is probably a bad thing, but I haven't played enough really to qualify as a commentator on it.
The good thing though is because it's quite small, it's fairly easy to remedy if you've got some power creep going on. A bit like with Underworlds, you can sort of, these 10 cards are just stupidly overpowered. Okay, we're going to restrict those 10 cards or whatever. You can very quickly make tweaks to change that.
Yeah, you can. I suppose you can bump up points even further, but then that doesn't. I suppose it just makes them less desirable to take.
Possibly.
Apparently it can happen, but rule of cool prevails, which usually helps. Yes, I do. Yeah, that's what I like about Necromunda as well. It's kind of. I mean, Pete and I are very much playing our games, or going to be playing our games to advance the narrative and make interesting things happen rather than all out trying to win until I get to start playing the game and my competitive streak kicks in and
I start saying, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to move this model." Then you're like, "No, fuck you, it's there now."
Oh, I would never do that.
Not on camera.
I would never do that. But like when I roll double skulls or whatever, and I'll be like, "Yeah, they're gonna stab on your face."
He beats me. He beats me. Swears at me. Throws dice at me. Screaming, "Yeah, you lose! You suck!"
I don't need to. Your dice are bad enough. I don't need to do anything else to you.
I'll tell you what, nothing crushes your soul more than having to edit a game where you just know what your dice are going to do to you for the next 90 minutes. It's just...
Yeah. We definitely need to bring a co-op game into our regular schedule. Just to give you a break.
I don't know, because when we play Underworlds, my deck's like, "Oh, you've got draw cards, have you?" They're all going on the bottom of the deck then. It's just how it goes. Yeah, I think we should basically play something where there's no luck involved. However, I don't think Agents of Sigmar play chess is necessarily going to run. I played a game of chess last year when I was at work with a friend. First time I played in absolute years, and we were sitting there playing. Accidentally played for about an hour when we should have been at work. It was just like a go to the coffee, go and get a cup of coffee from the kitchen.
You accidentally played chess.
We didn't really pay attention. It's just like, oh look, there's a chessboard. So we just a couple of moves, and then after we took a few sort of I was going to say models, but they're not really models, chess pieces. After we'd taken a few chess pieces, there was kind of that unspoken, oh, now it's serious. Now one of us actually does kind of want to win this. So we kept playing. It took about an hour, and then I realised that we then sat there for about 10 minutes, both looking at the board, trying to work out what to do, and then someone walked in and went, "Don't you have checkmate?" Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I win.
I don't mind playing you at chess in that case. Apparently chess has got a lot of momentum on Twitch recently, and Wolfman said try Season, a nice easy deck builder with dice rolling, doesn't generally screw you over. Interesting idea. I'm not sure I've got scope for another deck builder in my life, but it's I've never heard of it. I might look it up.
I have to say the deck building aspect of Underworlds is starting to get to me a little bit. It's just
I think the game reaches a critical mass where it has an optimal number of cards, and I felt like this in Nightfall at the end. There were too many cards. You know what I mean? There's like almost too many options, and it's too many variables, and then you keep thinking, I could just add that, and I think that just made me feel that I don't know whether it's the same. I just remember feeling this time last year. I remember feeling like that about the cards, and actually being slightly relieved when they cycled out the Shadespire cards. Yeah. And I think the optimum time was probably when they had 2 or 3 warbands out for Beastgrave. And I really liked the time before they did the gift pack. Actually, I remember when there wasn't distraction anymore, and you had to take mirror move. And I feel like that. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I feel a little bit like however many cards there are, it must be close to 1,000 cards. It's a little bit too many.
Defiant says, how so? What are you questioning, Defiant? Sorry, there's about like a 30-second gap between what we're saying and when you hear it. So I'm not 100% sure what your question was. So if you could tell us.
Maybe he's asking whether Munchkin is a good shout. I'm not a big fan of Munchkin. Munchkin Matt.
I don't know. Sounds like a nice person. in answer to the question about the gold dice, this is actually, it's sort of an orangey one. Actually, it's one of the chosen axe dice, and we're gonna have orange ones to do. We've got all purple. No, that's red. We've got green. We've got purple ones, and we'll also have the defense dice, the black ones as well. They are going to be for our Patreon supporters for one of our Patreon levels, along with possibly a piece of merchandise as well. Possibly a mug once we get that far. But if you aren't following us on Facebook, do like and follow us on there as well, and we'll put announcements out wherever we can. So yeah, that'll be coming sometime the next month or two. It'll be a little way off yet because I've got to sit there and got a whole bag of things to make it up with. So I've got to do that at some point.
Don't magic. Don't change.
I mean, I've got a small group of slave labour gnomes down the side there.
So basically, his kids during their final weeks of summer holidays are going to be just turning little threads into dice.
So, yeah, I kind of feel like the deck building aspect of things right now has really got me down. Not massively, but I mean, I'll put a deck together, and it might be absolute crap. Basically, can't think of another word to say. It might just be rubbish. I'm eager to try out a lot of the new cards, but I'm also very aware, and this might be something that other people don't care about so much, is that I'm very aware that if we record a game and our decks are rubbish, it could just be a crap game and nobody's going to enjoy it. So I'm kind of stuck between that world of trying to create a deck that's going to be entertaining to watch, entertaining to play, but also competitive enough that it's going to be an interesting game. It's not just going to be like one of those Season 1 affairs where it would end, the score would end up like 20-2 or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. I think I feel like in the past I felt that pressure more than you, but I don't know whether that's true or not. But I always feel like if you put a duff deck together, somebody will say, well, "What'd you put that card with that card for?" And so I always feel like it's on a show. So I can spend hours, well not hours, but a large number of minutes
6 maybe
agonising over card choice. Well, yeah, but 6 over 7 across 30 cards, 32 cards. That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely hear you.
I almost kind of want, I'm not sure how they could even do this, but I almost want some kind of more competitive way of having like an out-the-box deck. And we were using, like I used quite a few different decks from the Vassal tournaments, and I was using those for quite a few games recently because they're solid decks, they're really good, they're a lot, especially when they implemented the far list, they threw everything up in the air. Suddenly there were loads of different new deck ideas coming out, loads of new tricks coming out, and I could just pick one of those decks and we could have a really good game with them because a good deck, as we've said before, a really good deck will almost play itself, and so that was really great. But then the new cards have come out now, and so there's no valid decks to use. I'm like, crap.
So
I'm stuck on my own. I can't copy off of somebody else's homework.
I think the only problem with the internet decks being available is, yes, there are some different ones, but it becomes very quickly which type of deck is better than the rest. There were 2 or 3 kind of archetype decks, if you like, and then suddenly you kind of feel like if you deviate from them, you're playing something substandard. Aaron said he's only good at making ultra aggressive decks. Literally anything else he puts together is terrible. That may be down to the player. People definitely have a play style, and there are certain styles I just can't play. Whatever deck you build, just say it's a Marlowe deck. Nobody will question any choice of the cards in there. I was actually going to say that. I was going to say that Andrew Marlowe isn't actually real.
He's just some.
we just throw stuff together and say, Andrew said this one in.
And VJ says net decking. That's almost what I've been doing for like the last couple of months. So now I'm like, oh shit, there's no net decks out there to steal. So any of our Patreon supporters out there who have a deck they want to see played, chuck it over on the Discord, because frankly, I just ain't got the time. As VJ's just said, who's got the time? Or sorry, as Morph says, who's got the time for deck building? I am running out of it.
I do actually enjoy deck building, but I think it's I think there's almost, like I said, there's almost too many cards, too many possibilities. But I often feel like bewildered like that when new warbands come out, which is kind of where we're at the moment, isn't it? Because you had the tricks that you like to use and you had the cards that you like to use. You've been using them for 2 or 3 months, and then suddenly there's 120 new ones or something, and you've got to try and fit them in and work out where, how best to change your plans. And obviously we change the warband every week, so that's another challenge. I'm trying to make Condemners better. We feel like they're just so much worse since I last played them bad then.
Yeah, it is that thing I find as well, that you just sit there and you go, okay, I'm going to look through the cards, and you just start adding cards that you like the look of. You're like, okay, I'll just grab the cards that I like, and I think, oh, maybe I'll try and go for an objective grabby deck, or maybe I'll try and go for an offensive deck. So you start just pulling out cards, but then you end up with like 30 cards. You're like, now I've got to try and work out what to get rid of. And certain cards work with certain objectives, obviously, but then you take some objectives out and you think, right, well, I don't want those cards on, but now I think there's another card that might actually be quite good for this. And it just ends up in this constant feedback cycle where I still end up with a load of cards and no clue what I was trying to achieve at the end of it.
Anonymous Jeff says he'd like to see a quarry deck versus an objective flipper, just because we currently have the most usable cards. Yeah, I mean, I played a objective flipper this week. That's coming out on Patreon this week, isn't it, Pete?
Yep.
One. But we haven't tried a quarry deck yet. I was wondering whether to try that this week, but I haven't. I've been going with Condemners.
Oh, you're going Condemners, are you?
Yeah, so I think so.
Change my deck.
I did change my mind, but it's already Tuesday. We're playing Thursday, so it's unlikely I will. Defiant Nerd said he'd love us if we did a real basic introduction to deck building. I think that's something we'd like to do, but it's a real. I find it. I don't know angle to come at from that subject. I know that I don't know if he's in tonight. I'm sure I've seen him earlier. No Beef is in. He started a deck building series today, I think, on his channel. But I think he's taking a card, a single objective, and building around it. I haven't had time to watch it yet. No Beef is in, and he says yes. So yeah, I don't know if you want to chuck a link to that in No Beef. Feel free. And yeah, we. So yeah, I'd like to do it. I'll try No Beef, not just Party's Toast, but I'm never quite sure which way how to slice that cake. That's people ways. But maybe we could do on our deck archetypes and sort of things to think about. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I find that any kind of advice we'd have to give would be very generic, and wouldn't be necessarily about the current meta. And I kind of, if that makes sense, it's not like we're going to say, here's how you build a tournament winning deck, because we ain't got a fucking clue. We never came anywhere near to it. Yeah. So anything we give is going to be quite generic advice, and then I immediately think, do people need to be told this? Surely everybody knows this, and we're just talking nonsense. But as we've seen recently, some of the stuff we've done, a lot of people do want just some really basic stuff.
It's kind of would go along with our learn to play stuff, wouldn't it? I suppose we should do that. Now we can meet again. It's a bit easier. A video on deck archetypes would be interesting, Aaron says. If you're looking for like a more general overview, I know that Steel City Underworlds, their podcast Chatting Crit, which the podcast is much better than the name, but they did one on the different deck archetypes. They did a series, so they did objectives, control, and aggro, and they're a couple of hours each. So they go to quite a lot of depth about the way to build those kind of decks. Gaz Magaball says, hello guys, did I miss anything? And Pete said, not yet, mate. I mean, you haven't actually missed any prizes, but I mean, you have missed, obviously, almost an hour of scintillating conversation.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I thought that was just a given, so yeah.
The Steel City Chatting Crit guys are kind of top level players, and Michael was one glass, and the others have come close. Not glass, going clashes, and the others have come close. So it is good. It's good shit, man.
I do worry that if we ever tried to throw our hat into that ring, people would very quickly say, "You haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about, have you? Why do you have this channel? You suck. You're rubbish."
Doesn't normally stop us.
No, that's true. That's true.
But I think we do know enough about fun stuff. Maybe not honing down for the absolute efficient. We don't make the most efficient decks in the world.
No, but then I go out on a limb and suggest that a lot of our watchers, especially our Patreon supporters, don't watch us for the really competitive
high level
stuff.
tactics.
Yeah, I mean, considering we've got people like a man as some of our patrons, like he ain't looking to us for any kind of competitive advice here. No. I mean, maybe he's looking at the what not to do section. What Pete and Robin do. Okay, I'm not doing that. Not doing that.
No, I assume he doesn't know the answer to this question, but he says, have either of us competed in an Underworlds tournament, and how did that go? Well,
we have.
Let's just say we haven't got any glass. Let's just say
the only glass I've got, I wear on my face. I've been to one more tournament than Robin, and we've both been to 2 Grand Clashes, and I don't think any of the times we ever got past about the bottom third, something like that.
No, I think I would agree with that. You finished higher than me in both.
I think, but only just, yeah. But I mean,
enough. But they were great fun.
Yeah, I would go.
Enjoyed the Grand Clash, and they met lots of lovely people, and Matt.
Yeah, Matt was there. That was a shame, but anyway. So, I would go again, almost to not even play in the Grand Clash and just to meet people. I mean, it's fun to on the first day go in there and play against 4 different people you've probably never met before and get to play some really different games. And that's one thing that I think will always hold us back, is that we only ever play each other, and we've both got our own particular way of playing things. We get certain cards and we always play them in that certain way. So
it's all about making memories. And the meta is so cutthroat that it pushes away casual players. That's interesting. I think we were going to talk about competitive versus fun. We've touched on it a few times. Maybe we'll do a live chat on that. I think, Pete, you were saying that Blackjack had done something similar.
Yes, he had. Yeah.
Wigglefish is in. Talking of competitive players. He's been just waiting in the shallows. What did you say about me? You missed it. Oh, Matt, don't rewind, Matt. It's not worth it.
It's not funny at all. So, I mean,
it had to be competitive to put on a fun show. Just keep doing your thing with decks you enjoy. His opinion. Thanks, Wigglefish. That's a really good point. But I think everybody should do that, whatever they're doing. If you enjoy honing your playing and bringing it down to the absolute as efficient as it can be, so that you can go out there and compete for glass, and you enjoy that, then good luck to you, I would say. And then similarly, I think there is definitely room in the hobby for people like us who give it about 5 minutes thought, but make as many ridiculous puns as we possibly can in the game.
And try and sing as many.
It's just a shame
songs.
They don't give out glass for it, really.
Yeah, well, that's that was why we were going to have Agents Con. We were going to be doing the most uncompetitive tournament possible. But maybe 2021 we'll get that one eventually.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think when we went to the second Grand Clash, I had more fun on the second day when we just played some random games in Bugman's and stuff like that. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we look like we love playing the game, so I think you're honestly rare to find. Well, that's nice to know.
We definitely do. I don't think it has to necessarily be Underworlds. I think we just enjoy playing games. So
we do enjoy playing games. There is something particularly special about Underworlds for us. I mean, it kind of hits that sweet spot of being a miniatures game, but being quite quick, and it's got lots of things I like. I really enjoy playing it, and I think I like the fact that it doesn't take too long, because although we would enjoy playing AOS against each other or 40k against one another, it starts to get very tiring, and things can go badly wrong.
And it also for us, it's quite. In some ways, it's quite beginner friendly, because it's like you haven't got to have masses to be able to play. And even if you want to get everything, it's still, in the grand scheme of things, not that expensive in comparison to lots of other stuff. No.
This is Matt's crying now, although he seems to be talking about himself in the third person.
The third person. I think that's because Loz is there. So,
Mark says in Portugal they have a little community of 15 players joining every week. Well, that's really nice. If you've got a little community of people to play together and you enjoy it, as long as you all, I guess, are roughly the same, want to get the same things out of it. I guess it could start to get a bit bad if like half of you are ultra competitive and the other half aren't.
Yeah.
And we spoke about a competition. Could he enter? Yes, is it time to do that, Pete? We've been going for an hour. Should we talk about the
Yeah,
giveaway?
right, let's talk about that then first, and then we'll come back to our
hang on an
random
hour.
chit
Good, beautiful timing, Gaz Bagable. Thank you for that.
Boom, there we are. Good reminder there, Gaz Bagable.
Yeah.
So we
he
have
was like,
two.
I want to go to bed. Can you get on with the competition?
Shut up and get on with it so I can sign off. Yeah. So we've got 2 giveaways. 2? What the hell is that? 2?
2 giveaways.
We've got 2 giveaways that we're going to do. One of them is for Underworlds Online, and one of them is for Beastgrave. So the Underworlds Online one, for those who don't know about it, Underworlds Online obviously are releasing Eyes of the Nine come Wednesday. Andrew's in the chat and he's probably squealing in excitement.
No, I haven't seen Andrew tonight. He must be out. He might be out.
Disgusting. Okay, well if he isn't, he's probably squealing with excitement anyway because he knows it's coming. So we do have keys to give away: a copy of the game, a copy of the Thorns, and a copy of the Eyes of the Nine DLCs.
Wow.
So that's pretty big. That's pretty cool. If you do have the base game already, and you don't want the key, or you do have the Thorns already and you don't want the key for that, what we can do during the giveaway is we'll do the draw, and if people only want part of it, they'll have to be watching when we do the giveaway, mind, so that we know that everyone's there. If anybody only wants one of the keys, we can then do a draw for the secondary one, or the main game, that kind of thing. So that's the first giveaway.
Do you think we should just do one for the eyes? Sorry, well, we should have talked about this off camera. But should we do a separate draw for the eyes and a separate draw for Thorns and the box rolled together, and then everybody who wants, everybody who's already got the game could just go in for the eyes? Do you see what I mean? And then
okay, we'll do 3 separate draws then. Anybody doesn't like that?
I actually said 2, but 3 is fine.
Okay, we'll do a base one for the eyes, and we'll do another one for the game and the Thorns.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll have thought of something completely different by then, and we'll do it a different way. But we'll announce on that day what we're going to draw for when we do the draw. And you do need to be watching when we do the draw. If you're not online at the time, I'm afraid you're SOL.
So should we put a Facebook page? We'll put it on our Facebook page with all the rules.
Yeah.
And what draws we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then you have to comment on there to enter, and then we'll draw it next week. Is that right, Pete? That seem reasonable? Yes. We've very professionally arranged this. We know exactly what we're doing.
Yes. So although no, we're going to put the comments on this YouTube video.
Are we?
After this video.
I'm just wondering whether, because then people can comment more easily, can they? What warband they want?
All they need to do is they just say they want to enter, and then we'll do the draw. And then if they're online and we say you've won the eyes, and they might say I don't want the eyes, I just want the base game, or or the other way around. You've won the base game, I don't want that, I just want the eyes. Okay, then we'll redraw it at the time. So all you got to do is put a comment in the description below on what you're enjoying about Warhammer Underworlds, maybe something like that.
Can you tell Robin doesn't think that's a good idea? It's like talking to my wife. I just said I don't want to do that, and you've just said it. You've just said it again.
You should have given this more thought then.
I didn't know you were just going to announce it wrong. Anyway.
Mr. Greaves is on. Hello, Tim. Hello.
Tim, we've come in in the middle of a domestic.
So what is it you want to do? What is it you want?
I think we should allow, as a minimum, we should just say to everybody who just wants the eyes, just to say they want the eyes.
Yes.
Because otherwise, we might. I reckon most people will be in it for the eyes, and we'll already have the game.
The problem is working out what lists to put people in. But
if we just had a Facebook, if we put up a Facebook page, people can go and comment on it on our Facebook page.
But they can do that on YouTube.
Well, they can do it on YouTube, but that they can't comment on this video, can they? Because the live chat disappears.
No, not the live chat, as in the live chat here. The comments afterwards on the regular YouTube video.
All right, okay, but then they've got to go back into that. So why not? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was thinking we could state the rules when we've actually decided what they are on the Facebook page. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, keep an eye on Facebook. The trouble is, not everyone's on Facebook. That's part of your problem.
Right. Okay.
So. But I'll tell you what.
All right. Well, make it on the YouTube video then. When this is no longer live.
Okay.
Comment on there.
Yes. Don't put it in the comments now. Wait until afterwards, tomorrow, something like that. Put a comment on this video.
Yeah. Eyes or box.
Yeah.
Not box. Game.
Underworlds Online. Game. Full thing. Something like that. There we go. So
we're entertaining everybody anyway.
That's the first one. That's the first giveaway. Warhammer Underworlds Online, the Thorns, the game, and the eyes.
Why not just say comment on either? That's a really good point, Aaron. But you know,
the reason why I don't say that, Aaron, is because then I've got at least 3 different places I go to look at to have to get all the names together, and then if I share that Facebook page to other groups to sort of publicise it, people put comments on the other posts instead, and then I can't find everywhere where people have commented, and I'm lazy.
Okay, so
that's pretty much it.
Come out of this video and then be around next week. That's really the main limiting factor is being around next week.
Yeah, well, and having your name down in the comments.
Yeah, okay, yeah, well, yes. But you...
So there we go. That's how you can be with a chance next Tuesday to win Underworlds Online, the base game, the Thorns, and the Eyes of the Nine in various combinations.
Peter has recently got a job, or we both recently got a job with the government. You're right, Jeff.
So, that's the first one. Second giveaway.
Second giveaway. There's another giveaway. What?
We've got Beastgrave. We've got a copy of Beastgrave.
The fat nerd is so confused. He missed the start of the explanation of the giveaway. We should have been listening. That's what I've got to say.
It's your own fault. Wait until this video finishes and put a comment in there as to what you want to be entered in to win on this YouTube video, okay?
Yeah, right.
That's what you got to do.
Great.
Now the second one does have a bit of a requirement on it in that we can only
make
do
a
this
Google
one.
form the next time. That's a good idea. That's a
what?
Yeah, a Google form.
Google form? That sounds far too technical. I've got no idea what that means. For now, we're doing it on YouTube. Next time, somebody else can organise it. All right, fine.
I think next time we just talk about it beforehand. It's been a busy week. I told you. No time has passed since last Tuesday.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm still working, but that means I'm still working, which means I don't know what's going on.
My children have been at home with me for 20 weeks or something like that.
He's going over the edge. He's finally unhinged. When the kids go back.
So is my wife.
Yeah, but that's not going to change because she works from home now.
I know, but there's no escape.
That's what my wife says about me. So, second giveaway. This one's only going to be for the EU, I'm afraid. We can't, because we're posting a large chunk of stuff. So, unfortunately, we literally can't afford to send it to the US or Australia. So, if you're in the EU or the UK, I mean, technically the UK is in the EU at the minute, but come January, sadly, it won't be. Boo. So, what we're giving away is this. Giving away a copy of Beastgrave, but not only that, we're giving away. Does everybody want to see? Because I'm literally going to show the whole contents of the loot box now. We're giving away that the padded case. We're giving away,
as endorsed by Matt.
Yep, Beastgrave scenery. It's all in here. Look.
Do like that. Definitely adds to your board.
Giving away all of it. So we're giving away those. We're giving away. It's going to be the Godsworn Hunt, arguably one of the nicest sets of models ever made.
The shitest set of cards ever made.
The Beastgrave token set, useful now for the Oryx.
Oh yeah. Tokens. Yeah. Don't we need those?
Oh yeah. We're not giving those away. Card box, not a box made of card, but a box for your cards. A mat, which is now stored properly and rolled up rather than folded, because who thought folding them was a good idea the first time? And obviously a copy of Dreadfane.
Dreadfane. Well, not Dreadfane. The champions of
Dreadfane.
Dreadfane without the ball.
So there you go. UK, EU applicants can put a comment below after this video is finished. There'll be a link on Facebook back to this video telling people what to do. Put your name down and we will be drawing that. Pajamas Gagarin says that he's a bit late, but you just got here in time for the giveaway information, so hopefully you caught that. And you could be in chance of winning a loot box and a copy of Beastgrave.
I think personally, for entertainment value, we should have tried to do each bit individually. That would be quite good fun trying to work that out.
Draw every single item individually.
Yeah. I think that would have been hilarious, watching us try and organise that.
I did wonder about that, and I just thought, you know what, the cost of posting it all would just be horrific.
Oh, that is a very good point. That is a very good point. So we go to Facebook. No, don't go to Facebook.
No! Oh God!
Well, you can do, but we're not there.
So So yeah, that's what
basically,
we're giving away.
If you put a comment somewhere on any of our stuff between now and next week, you'll get in the draw, as long as we see it.
Well, Jason says, oh, sorry, I was going to say, Jason, you could enter and just get the Dreadfane champions, but obviously you're in Oz, so sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. It's so expensive to mail stuff out there.
It was horrific last time we looked at doing something, because I think
isn't that why we've ended up with the Beastgrave box? Because wasn't it VJ or Morph who won the previous box, and it was actually just cheaper to buy him a new one?
It might have been. It might have been cheaper
than the one we had.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yes, Pajamas Gagarin, yes, you just, once this video is finished, you'll be able to post comments just like a regular YouTube video. Stick a comment in there for what you're interested in. There's this, and watch it back, because there is also Warhammer Underworlds Online stuff that we're going to be doing two giveaways for. Put a comment saying what you want to be entered for. You can enter in both if you want, and you have to be here next week for the draw. We'll only be selecting people who are online. So, I mean, last time, for a whole box of Indomitus, we had about 100 people online in the end, nearly. So it's pretty good odds.
So, I mean, I think for this loot box that we've been slagging off for most of this video, we should get nearly that.
But you know what? At least you know what you're getting this time, right? And it's
that is true. That is true.
So you know, it's not to be sniffed at. So there you go. That's what you got to do. Yeah, it was Morph that won the Beastgrave box, and we decided to transfer the funds. I think we also did that for somebody in America.
Okay.
I think Morph won the nameplate, so we posted those and we sent him the money for the rest. I think we did that in America as well, because it was going to be like 50 quid to post a Beastgrave box out there. It was like,
I think we talked about America, but it's gone even crazy. I think it's more expensive to send stuff to America now than it is to send stuff to Australia, because I think they've just got crazy expensive. Mind you, they're dismantling the postal system, as far as I can understand, as well.
Yeah, so even if you do get it, it'll never get delivered to you, because it will just be stuck in a sorting office somewhere they've shut.
Underworld's loot box giveaway, and what else? Pajama says. So we've got some Warhammer Underworld's keys
and a Beastgrave box for the loot
and
box.
A Beastgrave box. So there's a Beastgrave box separate to the loot box.
Yep.
And then we've got some Warhammer Underworld's keys. So we've got the whole game, the Thorns, and the brand new, not yet seen Eyes of the Nine.
Yeah, which are coming out this Wednesday. So if you are tempted in, don't buy them yet. Wait till next week and enter the competition. You might just win it all.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the Underworlds Online version is open to anybody, because there's no postage.
Yes, we can send a key.
That's easier. Just an email address is all we'll need. So there we go. There are our giveaways. Anybody who has joined us since we started waffling about all this nonsense and stuff. If you're unsure of
getting the eyes tomorrow, he'd like to resist, but it ain't happening.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes you're like, oh, but if I wait a week, no, it's not happening. Bye.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of tempted just to tell Cal, oh yeah, thanks for those keys. We're going to give those away. There we go.
And the winner is Mr. Tepek Rocker.
So yes, 3 items for the giveaway. No, there's more than 3 items, because there's the whole loot box we're giving away. The whole UK loot box content and a copy of Beastgrave for one thing.
Rob a bank or what? Pretty much.
Well, we were very lucky that the Warhammer Underworlds people, online people, gave us the
they gave us the keys for the giveaway. Bless them.
So Cal was very nice on that one.
For that, Cal.
Sorry.
I said thank you for that, Cal.
Yes, thank you, Cal. That was wonderful. And if you don't win and you're still interested, maybe still think about buying it, because it's dirt cheap and it's actually really fun. It's good fun. And the loot box, well, we bought one to see what was in it, and then we realised that we didn't really need any of what was in it, and we had a copy of Beastgrave spare, so we figured, you know what, that's a pretty good starter for somebody who's not bought any of the game yet.
Yeah, so we're generous souls, what can I say?
Yeah, plus we can't shift it.
Beastgrave box in the online game. The Beastgrave box is, as I say, left over from when we did the giveaway ages ago, because the winner it was cheaper to buy them a new one in their local currency.
But Pajamas Gagarin, the loot box and the Beastgrave box will be one giveaway, so somebody will get the whole thing. And if you want to enter Jimmy Forrest Fellows, after this video is finished, you just got to put a comment in the description of the YouTube video, not in the description, a comment on the YouTube video to say what things you want to be in with a chance of winning, whether it's the Beastgrave stuff or the Underworlds Online stuff, and then we'll go from there. But you do have to be online next week when we do the draw.
You do. Jeff says next giveaway, things we've seen on your shelves that aren't getting used. Yeah, going to give these pictures away next week.
Give away this tin, lovely little tin there. Got a
nice Joshua Tree print there you can have.
What's in this one? I might have an empty tin here.
I've got this mostly finished cup of tea.
It's Warcry. Who remembers Warcry? Oh, never mind. So that's the giveaway. And yeah, we'll be doing that next week. And I think next week we'll probably be talking a bit more about competitive as well. Competitive versus casual gaming. Because we were talking about that just before we talked about the giveaway, weren't we?
Yes.
And I reckon with Guild Ball being cancelled now, kind of highlights a bit just how important casual play is to any game's survivability. Because one of the big things they said in their reasoning for shutting it down was the competitive side of things was so great that people didn't play it in a casual manner a lot of the time. And this isn't me inferring anything, this is literally what they wrote in their post about cancelling it. They were like, whenever we release something, people either decide immediately if it's trash or if it's, a must-have item, and therefore people either didn't buy it at all or everybody had it. And that kind of thing, for them, that destroyed the game. Well, it didn't destroy the game for them, but it made it such that they decided they didn't want to continue it anymore. Whereas GW have been, hammering on with Blood Bowl for decades now, and that's still going. And I think that's because GW have that right mix between, maybe not with Blood Bowl so much, but definitely with Blitz Bowl now, in that it's got a very casual element to it, a very random element, but you can also be competitive with it. And I think that they really need to be careful with things like Beastgrave, that they don't get too competitive with Beastgrave. I know it's billed as like the ultimate competitive tabletop game or whatever it is, but I think they need to be careful that they don't get too hung up on that.
I haven't played Guild Ball, so I can't really comment, but it seemed to be that people were saying that it was so balanced that there was no need to buy extra stuff, and so then the making of the content then became less. There was less incentive to buy because you didn't need it to make yourself better. Whereas scope creep's inevitable if you want to keep going.
Yeah.
And then I also heard that. I've forgotten now. Shit.
Well, whilst you're thinking about that one, Kilometers 1313 said, "Are these magnetised?" They are magnetised. Nice and easy. Just get a tin. Get some. I think these are like 4 or 5 mil by 1 or 2 mil magnets. Green stuff, not very in focus, but you get the idea. Green stuff into the bottom of the model, and away you go.
I have remembered what I was going to say.
Go on then. There you go. That was a nice little moment there.
Yeah. It was more, and I think this is more anecdotal, that Guild Ball, because it's balanced and doesn't rely so much on dice and luck, it's more tactics and skill. It actually made it less fun, which is kind of an extension of what you're saying, really.
Yeah.
Because there is a fun element to Underworlds. I suppose almost Warcry is one extreme and Guild Ball's the other, where maybe Underworld's sitting in the middle.
Yeah, because you've got the dice, and anytime you add dice and the card deck random draw function, anytime you add something like that, and there is an element of luck there that can make things better, make things worse, gives you that uncertainty. So I think that helps a bit. Mr. Dan Pinkney's on. Hello, Dan. He says Blood Bowl is one of the very few that works perfectly for casual games and also very competitive. It's very hard balance to hit, especially on new games. I think for competitive, you have to be careful because obviously there are tiers of the teams, and some teams are just a lot better than other teams. But I think because there is that tiering there, and it's quite widely accepted as well, people know if they're taking like a halfling team, they know that they're probably going to get pasted a lot, but they've entered into it knowing that, and going with the comment, the knowledge of they're taking a subpar team. It's a bit like if you took, I'm trying to think, but any of the Season 1 warbands to a tournament? No, not quite that. But if you took a Sepulchral Guard or something like that to a clash or something, you're probably not going to be top 10 placement. But there's that challenge there then of trying to do as well as you can with them in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, I find, I mean, in most games, I guess, if you're playing with somebody if you're casual and you're playing somebody who's competitive, it's going to be a bit one-sided, whatever you're doing. If you play chess casually and you play somebody who plays, competitively, it's not going to be a fun game. It's very hard to get a balance. But what's more difficult, I suppose, is to get a game that works on both levels, that works for casual players. And I think Underworlds does that. It works if you play casually, but also it works if you're competitive. And chess does to an extent too. Could talk about chess a lot tonight, but Blood Bowl, I just I don't find it fun. It's hard for me to comment on, and obviously I haven't played Guild Ball, so I don't know. But again, yeah, if it becomes less about the fun, then perhaps if it's less about the fun, and then also it's quite balanced, so people don't need to buy new stuff, then you're not going to make money selling it, are you? Because people aren't going to keep buying. The players who already play it aren't going to keep buying. You're not going to introduce people into it if it's less fun, I think.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to pander to any community, the community you want to pander to, for want of a better word, is the casual community, because any kind of competitive community they're not going to get you a lot of revenue, because they're just going to buy the best things.
Yeah.
And win with those.
That's all right if you keep changing what the best thing is.
Yeah, to an extent you can say.
We probably need to save most of this gunpowder for next week's live chat.
True, yeah, but so this will probably be something we talk about next week, because we'll probably done
lots of comments coming in, so we'll try and keep the powder dry for next week.
Yeah, so next week we're going to talk about competitive versus casual games, which I kind of feel like our thunder's been stolen a bit by Andy from Blackjack, but
Well, if anybody has any brilliant insights from having watched that thread, then let us know, and we'll pretend they were ours. Jimmy Forrester Fellows says, "Are we going to play Blitz Bowl 2?" We haven't got it. We were lucky enough to get sent a copy of Blitz Bowl, but I think GW don't deem us worthy of that. They didn't last year for the what do they call it? Not independents, but the specialist. No, not specialist. Whatever the limited games that released as stores in the US, whatever it's called. We didn't get them last year. I think we're getting them this year, by the sounds of things. So,
and we didn't even get the last couple of warbands.
No, we didn't. So if we can get a copy, we might play Blitz Bowl. But to be honest, we do have a Blitz Bowl 2. We do have a copy of Blitz Bowl. We don't play that. There's just not enough time.
Yeah, this is the other thing. I mean, we want to keep the Underworld content going, because obviously a lot of our patrons, especially, want to see Underworld, so that's why we're where we're at right now. But we also want to try and get in something else, so we're trying to get some Necromunda in, that kind of stuff. And then once you start thinking about what else you want to put in there, Blitz Bowl keeps falling down that list.
Yeah.
So
I'm all about Warhammer Champions at the moment, which is daft because it's not anything to do with what we do.
Warhammer Champions, Marvel Champions.
Not Warhammer, Marvel Champions.
Didn't like Warhammer Champions at all.
No. Marvel Champions, not Warhammer Champions.
Somebody asked us about Warcry and where that's going. I mean, we did try Warcry for a while, but I think they did that thing they normally do, which is they bring something out and then it just goes boom. There's tons of stuff, and we're like, oh god, what the hell?
We couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Quite lots of people coming in now. We're about to go home.
Sorry,
home. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. So anybody who's just tuning in, you want to go back and watch the last 20-30 minutes of this to get information on the giveaway that we will be doing next week. There will be Warhammer Underworlds Online giveaway content and Beastgrave giveaway content, so do go back and check that out. I will try and mark it in the video when I'm done where the time zones are for that kind of stuff, but do go back and check that out. If you want to be in with a chance to win, you will need to be back here next week at 11 PM BST, so about 25 minutes ago, when we do the draw, because we're only going to include anybody who's online at the time.
Yeah.
With UK game,
we're fans of Warcry. We should take that under consideration, I guess.
Well, we've got about 4-5 painted Warcry warbands.
Yeah, maybe we should think about trying to play a game.
I've got the Skaven as well.
Yeah.
You never know.
Let's see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. There's a lot going on, but you've got a few extra days we're going to meet, haven't we, Peter? Maybe we can.
Yes, I've
been
very, very.
And regular Warcry, so that'd be pretty cool. There's quite a few more. There's another one definitely down for Warcry. Okay, we need to consider this. Although, of course, if you haven't seen them yet, do check out Red Rose. For your Warcry fix, because they're awesome.
Red Rose, are you still in the chat at the minute? If you are, give us a holler. Hopefully, people can go and click on your name to get to your channel and stuff, because they've got loads of Warcry content on there, and they're doing so much of a better job of it than we would do. So.
And Pajamas is asking when we play Necromunda. Oh my goodness me, it's just too much. We were thinking of playing Necromunda probably this week, but with the new warbands coming, we're going to focus on the cards. But another 2 or 3 weeks, we'll record some more Necromunda games. We've got the nameplates coming, so we're going to get the new gangs all ready and looking great, and then we're going to start. And we'll probably, if we smashed Underworlds for a few weeks now, we'll probably do 2 or 3 weeks Necromunda recording back to back, and mix it up that way. Maybe
nameplates, circular nameplates.
Oh yes,
these are from Versatile Terrain. I'll just show you one. They clip onto the base. It's actually pretty snug even without any kind of glue. They just sort of sit on there, and then you can have the name on the front and the back, and they're really good, really nice.
I can't see the name sadly.
No, unfortunately on those ones I'd already sprayed them. I'd already sprayed them white so they weren't.
Already splayed them.
Morpher said that, you know, Warcry's fun, but the mission terrain layout can make it very unbalanced, and that was one thing that didn't really bother me. You're kind of disappearing off the side, Robin.
Jeff says, does it have the arc? It does not have the arc.
The arc?
The arc. I assume he means the firing arc.
Oh, I see. No,
we realised that later. But then we realised we're just going to make that shit up, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I did speak to Keith about that, though, and he said that he thought about adding the arc, but then because you don't need to necessarily attach the nameplates, they could be free spinning, so then your arc would be moving all over the place. But he said he might add it in, so if you are interested in them but you do want the arc on there, then do email him and say that you're interested but you'd like the arcs, and he'll probably sort something out if there's the demand for it, because, you know, he's a pretty solid guy, is Keith.
I'm going to say
and just to add in there, all our Patreon supporters do get a discount on Versatile Terrain.
They do.
Just going to put that in there. And you get access to the Discord where we're all chatting all the time and stuff.
We do love the Discord. It's the best secret chat in the whole of gaming world, I think. I've heard it said.
So
you know, by me, but I did hear it.
Even at the lowest level, like the $2 level, you'll get the Discord, you'll get the discounts and stuff like that. At the $5 level, you get loads of you'll get extra games and stuff as well that don't ever make it onto YouTube. So just throwing those out there for you.
Jarman says, don't forget to set or paint the vision arc. He's got a painted vision arc for his model right on the base.
Yeah, I mean, I will probably try, and when I paint the name
ring,
I'm going to fix mine, so I'm going to try and incorporate that into the ring, so I've got that 90-degree arc.
Slightly dark fasters in the house.
Yeah. So
secret, no. Totally secret.
Complete secret. Somebody did say about how they like the randomness of Warcry with the setup and stuff, that and Morph said that it could be something that could really turn you off if you don't like that kind of thing, and I did like that aspect, that you could literally have a mission set up where you know you're going to lose from the outset, and then it becomes something else. It becomes that whole, how can I win, or just how
too badly.
Yeah, how can I take out enough of your fighters? You know, it becomes a personal thing. If I'm going to go down, but I'm going to try and take as many of your better fighters out as I can, or that kind of thing. So, yeah. So.
Yeah, the problem I have with it, I suppose, is that you've gone to the effort to set it all up. You then don't want to draw an unwinnable. You might not necessarily want to draw an unwinnable scenario. I mean, I know you can redraw, but it kind of feels like then you have that issue where you redraw, but then it comes back in favour of your way, and then you feel bad that you redrew the card when you were going to lose and you ended up winning. I can't quite explain it, but I just kind of feel like, you know, I want something a little bit less random and a bit more balanced out of the box. But that said, I do really like the mechanics of the game. I'm just not quite sure about the random scenario setup.
I did like the whole, like, oh, you've got 3 attack dice, and on a 4 or more you do 2 wounds, and on a 6 you do 4 wounds instead of 2. And there was no rolling to hit, rolling to wound, rolling to save, rolling invulnerable saves, remembering abilities that come into effect and stay there for a round.
that was very refreshing. Well, there's all sorts of comments going on here.
Warcry, well, Dan says Warcry is so fast to play. It is if you're not us.
That's true.
And adding a camera doubles the time.
Yeah, it does definitely slow it down.
But it's
Necromunda looks very difficult, Roderick says. I agree, Roderick. I think it does look difficult, but I think it's okay to play. I think it's one of those games that it's all right if you play it a little bit wrong, and then realise your mistake and then correct it, and then you kind of gradually evolve and bring in extra things. I think the difficult thing is it's finding a consistent rule set that has the things that you want in it. I think that's the thing that's most put me off playing it. But I think it actually isn't that bad, and I've really enjoyed the games we've played. Even though we did get some stuff wrong, and we realised that, and then we changed that for the next game, and then we got some stuff wrong again, so we'll change that for the next game. But I think that's okay. And then when you're comfy with that, then you can play the campaign rules. But I think it is one of those games that you probably discover you've been playing something wrong pretty much every game.
Yeah. And it's definitely one of those things as well where you look at it and you think, wow, there are a lot of rules in this. I don't know how the hell I'm going to remember all these. But you don't actually need to remember a lot of them.
No.
And it just comes down to one of those things of a slight bit of repetition, and maybe a few quick cheat sheets, and you'll very quickly start to remember a lot of the rules.
I think so. And as you can't play without the depth. I think so. You can play a kind of standard game fairly easily, and it doesn't matter too much if you get it too badly wrong, because it's reasonably well balanced. As long as there aren't many rules you can forget that will massively tip the favour in one way. I don't think.
Yeah, and that's a bit unlike Warcry in some ways, in that depending on some of the things you pick up, like one of the twists will be something like, oh yeah, you're a minus to your move or something like that, and then you realise that your warbands all like move 3 inches or something like that, and it really, really can stuff you over whilst your opponent is just zipping all over the place.
Yeah. Anonymous says Necromunda can feel the same, with more of an attachment to your characters. Yeah, we haven't quite got into the narrative side of it, but that is what I'm really looking forward to, is playing some narrative stuff and getting our heroes. And we've named a lot of our heroes or our gangers after the Patreon members, so that'll be good fun.
Street Pass Liverpool says, hi guys, love your stuff, keep up the good work. Tony, thank you very much, Tony. Hopefully you're a watcher, and long time may it continue, so thank you for commenting. That really means a lot.
And somebody, Rob, I think it's from Portugal, says he wants to see me painting the new Morgoks. That's a very sadistic thing for you or a masochistic thing for you to want to do, but I think we're going to we've already arranged to have a couple of warbands sent to our Patreon painter in-house, Tom Milky, and so he's going to paint a couple, but I think I'm going to paint the Aurochs. Well, you quite like the Aurochs too, don't you?
I don't mind either. I mean, to be honest, they're the first warband release where I've liked both warbands, so I'm okay.
I will try. Whether I video painting the Aurochs, I don't know, but I am going to paint them. And then
you're going to paint the Aurochs regardless,
and then never use them because Milky's would be better than mine. But
well, what we could do is we could each paint one of the Aurochs and do our own video who paints it best.
I've got a theme and you'll ruin it.
Your shit painting.
No, you just won't do it to the theme.
No, that's true.
Better than mine.
I wouldn't say that by a long shot, but especially when I finish painting, they go, oh, I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm going to share that online. No, I'm not sharing that online.
Jason's flexing. Difficulty level depends on what you're used to. For me, Necromunda is a pretty average level game. Oh, that's a flex, Jason, that is.
Oh, it's like, yeah, well, you could, it's pretty fucking easy for me, lad. Yeah, to be honest, I'm a bit shit with rules.
I am too. He's waiting to see Jason Frost in action. Yes, Jason Frost is in my gang. So yeah, I'll be bringing him out, Jason.
No Beef has had to leave. His little nipper's given some grief. So see you later, No
good
Beef.
Luck in there, remember that. Good luck.
JOT has just turned up, and I'm very sorry, JOT, but we're just about to go.
Just about to go.
But you can go back and watch the rest of this video, and if you're interested in our giveaways, anybody who's just joined us interested in the giveaways for Warhammer Underworlds Online or Beastgrave, because we're giving away a whole loot box and a copy of Beastgrave, and we're giving away a copy of the whole Warhammer Underworlds game and the new warbands. Do go back about 35ish minutes. I'll try and mark it in the timeline of the video to find out how to enter, and we'll be doing the giveaway next week.
Later,
same time,
yes.
about 11 p.m. ish.
What's Beastgrave?
What's Beastgrave?
I think we have somebody brand new.
JC, what's Beastgrave? It's only what we're known best for.
Yeah.
Underworld's the latest season, Beastgrave. So yeah, if you haven't, go check that out. Go Google it now. Beastgrave, Agents of Sigmar. Loads of back reps on there. And if you're completely new to it, enter, because you're going to have a whole useful wad of stuff to play.
Yeah. Pajamas has suggested we pick up the Enforcers. It's in the long-term plan. I call you PJ. PJ or PJ.
P and PG.
It's in the long-term plan. I'm quite intrigued by some of those rules, and I love the model. So it's in the long-term plan. Whether it will happen, I don't think it's going to happen this side of 2020. Whether it will happen this side of 2021, I don't know. Well, you know what I mean.
God knows. I mean, also
or 2022. I don't know.
Winning the lottery is also in that plan.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we want to play it all. It's just finding the time. So we're going to start small.
So we need that lottery win.
Yeah. So we're going to start small. Four gangs campaign. Zone Mortalis boards to start with, and then if it picks up traction and people are interested, then maybe we'll look to getting into the full 3D terrain and all that kind of craziness as well.
That's the main thing. Anything you do want to see on the channel, you have to get all your friends and your friends' mothers and your friends' mothers' cats to watch it, and then we feel like it's worth doing. When you do something new, because there's always a steep learning curve. When you do something new and like 7 people watch it, it makes it harder to keep going. So that's it. You've just basically got to tell all your friends and make them watch it, whether they want to or not.
Yep. So anybody interested in the giveaway, please do go and check out about, like I say, 35 minutes ago after this video's done. And yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to end it tonight. Next week we're going to come back. We're going to be talking competitive versus casual and gamer difficulty levels. Maybe we'll have to chuck that into the mix as well, and we'll be doing the giveaways. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Bye.